For today's crafty magic, we're going to be taking this just a regular old kitchen towel. It's kind of thin. It's not one of those big puffy towels. You have to have something like this. I think this is like a flour sack towel or something. I got it like Walmart for a set of like 6 for $5. They're really, really cheap and inexpensive. But we're going to be taking it and making it awesome and putting all the mana symbols on it because that'll be really cool. So what you need is your towel. You also need freezer paper. This stuff is the best thing in the world. I love using freezer paper so much. I use it for all my t-shirts and everything that I ever use to paint things on. I use freezer paper because it works so well. So freezer paper, an X-Acto knife to cut out your designs, something to paint on. I have a glass picture frame that I didn't need the glass part of it, and so I just use that to paint on so I don't ruin any of my other stuff. But if you have like a table or something that's old and you don't mind getting paint on it, that's cool. But the paints, this is really thin, so the paint will go straight through it. You also need all your fabric paints. I've got all the colors plus white because I'm going to mix that with the yellow to make it a little more lighter for the planes, and brushes, and I use a paper plate to put my paint on for that. You're also going to need an iron and ironing board for the freezer paper to put that on, but that is it. So let's get started. Alright, so first off, what you're going to do is cut out your mana symbols out of your freezer paper. Now, I have a machine that'll cut it for me, so I don't have to take the time and effort to do that as much, but you can simply just use an X-Acto knife in your freezer paper and just cut it out. Make sure you're cutting on a cutting board or something you don't mind putting notches into. But once you have your design cut out, all you need to do is pull out the stuff that you want black, which is not that. Even with my cutting machine, I sometimes have to kill the edges a little bit, but just cut out all the stuff that you want, whatever color it's going to be. So like, since we have the forest, I want the ring green, and then I want the tree part of that also green, so I'm going to pull that up. And I'm using a little tool that came with my cutting machine, but X-Acto knife works just as well. Just be careful that you don't mind cutting whatever you're using. Alright, so as you can see, we've pulled out all the stuff, and so we're going to paint each of these the color, and it's going to show up really nice on our towel. Alright, so I've got my iron on, and I've ironed most of the wrinkles out of where I'm going to be working, and we're just going to place the freezer paper shiny side down. There's two different sides. You have a shiny side and a not shiny side, so make sure you put the shiny side down because that's when it gets heated up, it's going to stick. And try and get it centered on your towel, otherwise it's going to, I don't know, it might not bother you, but it will bother me and most of my family. So try and get that centered, and then you just iron it on, and due to the properties of freezer paper, it sticks very well and it easily pulls off. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure you get those edges really good so they're nice and stuck on. Otherwise, your paint's going to seep through when you paint it. So once you get that basic part on, comes the more difficult part. You're going to have to pull these center rings off and work on ironing those. And don't forget shiny side down, otherwise your freezer paper will get stuck to your bottom of your iron, and that will be awful to clean up. And don't forget the little tiny details, like on here, you want to make sure you get the little water droplet because you don't want it being all blue. You want it being what it's actually supposed to look like. So let's just alright, make sure everything's stuck real good. And unplug your iron when you're done with it. Always important. Alright, so now that you've got your pattern ironed on and it's stuck on there really good, I'm just painting on top of my glass thing so I don't get anything anywhere. Just grab whatever color you want and paint the area you want colored. So I'm going to start with the green, do the forest. Alright, and just make sure as you're doing this, you're really, really careful not to get over the lines, because that would be bad. Really bad if you mixed the paint colors, obviously. Alright, so just make sure you got a nice good coat with your color in that area, and then just move on to the next area. Simple as that. And it will soak it up a little bit, but it actually makes it pretty cool if you go with it gives it kind of a distressed look, so I'm okay with that. Alright, so let's do planes. We have no paint. Alright, so once you've got everything painted all up, and all the right colors and everything, all you have to do is just carefully pull off the freezer paper, just very carefully, because you don't want, but see, look how good those lines look. This one turned out really good. So yeah, just carefully peel off the paper, and we're going to move Chandra just so she's not in the way. And yeah, see, like I said, your thing will catch some paint. Alright, so these have sufficiently dried, like a lot. They've been here for a while, and thanks to movie time, you don't have to sit and wait. Yay! So we're just gonna peel up the rest of these pieces. Oh, that looks so good. They turned out. I'm so happy. I love when things actually turn out how I'm hoping they turn out instead of not. That looks good. And if the freezer paper tears, it's fine. Just pull it off. It's absolutely okay. This stuff is not going to stick at all. That's the beauty of freezer paper and why I use it for basically everything. Alright, so the little pieces, just use like an X-Acto knife or something just to pull them off. Alright, so here's the finished towel, and that was the tutorial, and so you can now make your very own. If you do, let me know how it goes in the comments below, and send me a picture to my email address. I'd love seeing what you guys do with these craft projects that I'm making. But yeah, I think I at least have one Planeswalker's approval for at least a fifth of this towel. Maybe not the whole towel, but at least a fifth of it. So let me know what you think in the comments below, like this video, and subscribe for more.